Hey guys, my name is Shemi here, and today I'm making a video about one of the worst times in history. And no, not when Kevin Durant went to the Golden State Warriors. I'm making a video about World War I. Let's start off with how it started. It was a pretty stupid reason. There was a group in Serbia called the Black Hand, and they tried to assassinate Archduke Franz Ferdinand while he was on a trip in Serbia. But they hit the wrong car and they didn't kill him. So, woohoo! He goes back to Austria and no war happens. Nope! He decides to drive towards a restaurant, and a guy named Gavrilo Princip, a member of the Black Hand, sees him, pulls out a gun, and shoots him dead. And understandably, Austria is very upset. But there's tensions in Europe. People want more land. They want to prove military dominance. And to prove military dominance, you need to beat someone in a war. So Austria tells their little buddies, Germany, hey, we're going to start a war with Austria. You got our back, right? Yeah. And Germany says, yes. So Austria sends an impossible list of demands to Serbia. And of course, Serbia rejects. So on July 28th, Austria declares war on Serbia. And Russia, they really like Serbia. Russia and Serbia have the same beliefs. They even dress alike. So they defend Austria and then declare war on them on August 1st. And that's when everything broke loose. Germany declared war on France and Russia, and troops started mobilizing, and the First World War began. But Germany had a plan to fight a war on two fronts. It was called the Schiffling Plan, devised by General von Schiffling. Sorry if I'm messing up that name for the German people out there. The plan needed Germany to roll around Belgium and attack the flanks of France. Just to let you know, the flanks are the weakest part of any army. And they're the weakest part of humans too. But Belgium was neutral. And you don't go around attacking neutral countries like that. It's wrong. And Belgium also had an alliance with Great Britain, who had the most dominant navy in the world. And arguably the most dominant military in the world. So understandably, Germany didn't want to take them off. So Germany asked Great Britain, you don't really take this alliance seriously, right? If we just go around them to get to France, you won't join the war. And Great Britain, as we all know, said, we're joining the war if you attack them. But that didn't stop the 800,000 men from Germany. They rolled around Belgium, and Great Britain declared war on them. And what happened in Belgium was terrible. The first Battle of Ypres, they burned bridges down, they attacked people, they wore spiky helmets. So if you're not trying to make yourself look like the bad guys, you failed, Germany. But what they didn't count on was Britain and Belgium holding them back for that long. In the end, they did get the roll around though, and they were pushing France back, and back. So back that the Kaiser expected to have lunch in Paris. By the way, Paris is the capital of France. And once you take a capital, you pretty much take the entire country. But Great Britain and France found a weakness at the First Battle of the Marne. They broke through that weakness and they started pushing them back. But the Germans dug in, and trench warfare officially began. Around this time, later in the 1914s, the Ottoman Empire joined the side of the Central Powers. And just to let you know, the Central Powers is Germany, Austria-Hungary, and now the Ottoman Empire. So the British and a few French troops started a project called Operation Gallipoli, which would allow them to go around the sea and go over to the Ottoman Empire and take them out nice and quickly. But what this plan counted on was the Ottomans being weak, and they were not weak. So, as we all know, the British and French soldiers ended up getting pushed back. But they committed one of the most successful retreats of the entire war. Nobody died. No man left behind. And right before this, when trench warfare began, there was something called the Race to the Sea. Each side tried to outflank the other one into the Atlantic Ocean. But as we all know, Britain's naval dominance proved superior, and they made an Atlantic blockade of Germany. The plan was to cripple Germany to their knees. No merchants, no goods, no food will be able to be sent to Germany. Their Atlantic Navy would take it all down. But one day, the Germans decided to challenge that superiority. In the Battle of Jutland, the British lost 14 ships and around 8,000 men. Germany only lost 11 ships with 2,000 men. But Britain is so superior navally. This hit, it affected them, but Germany was never able to have a successful naval battle for the rest of the war. But they did end up retaliating with U-boats. These submarines would blockade Britain, doing the exact same thing Britain did to Germany, giving them a little taste of their own medicine. And any American merchants, any American goods that were trying to be mailed to Britain would get shot out with torpedoes. And the Americans hated this. It's going to be a big reason for why they decided to join the war later on. And now, one of the most horrific moments in war history, the Battle of Verdun. 800,000 French troops, French casualties in that battle. The entire plan of the battle on the German side was to shed France white. They knew that Verdun held so much sympathetic value to France that they would pour more troops and more troops and more troops into the battle. It was a gigantic military weakness, but Verdun held so much pride. The French general's last words were, "Ils ne passeront pas." They shall not pass. And they didn't. They may have taken 800,000 casualties, but they did not pass. You know how crazy it was? The German strategy was for every 2 dead Germans, there would be 5 dead French soldiers. They weren't even trying to take the city. They were killing an entire population. It's crazy. So understandably, Britain retaliated in the Battle of the Somme. Pretty much the entire essence of this battle was to relieve pressure from the French at Verdun, was to make life easier for them, was to force German troops to come back. And it sort of worked, but British suffered 69,000 casualties on the first day. It's known as the bloodiest day in British military history. And right before that, the Germans did something even more crazy. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. How can you get more crazy than that? In the Second Battle of Ypres, they broke one of the 2 rules of war. They already broke the first one, which is no attacking innocent civilians. They broke that in the first few days of the war. And now, they were using poison gas, toxic gas. They were putting it in trenches to take out it was a destructive method. It was like the nuclear bomb of that time. The atomic bomb of that time, whatever you want to call it. It was crazy, it was inhumane, and it was destruction. From that day on, every single soldier had to wear a mask to protect themselves from toxic gas. And even worse, after the Battle of the Somme and that, there was a Brusilov offensive. There's finally a victory for the Allies. And let's get away from the dirty Western fronts and move on to the Eastern Front, which is pretty much Germany versus Russia and Austria-Hungary versus Russia and the Ottoman Empire versus Russia. It's bad for Russia. They lost every single battle on that Eastern Front pretty much till the Brusilov offensive. And just like the Somme offensive, the entire point of this was to relieve pressure from the French at Verdun. Almost all the attacks at this time were just to do that. And it was so successful. They pushed Austria-Hungary so back that the Germans had to bring troops from almost every single front they had. It just showed how much Austria-Hungary depended on Germany. And just like in World War II, Germany's allies was one of their biggest mistakes, one of the biggest reasons they lost the war. And around this time, Italy joined the Allies, which is a major surprise, because Italy had a former alliance with Germany, Austria-Hungary. So when they joined the war, wow, were some people mad. And now, America joined the war. And the reason America joined the war was because of the Zimmermann Telegraph. You know, Germany was getting pretty scared and antsy that America would join the war for real instead of just sending goods to Great Britain. So they sent a telegraph to Mexico saying, hey, can you get some troops on the border and attack America? We really need your help. But Britain intercepted that telegraph and they gave it to America, and America joined the war. But before America could really do much, It was a big offensive by the Germans. It was a last-ditch effort to finish everything, to end the war right there and then. The first punch was successful. Second was successful. Third, fourth, fifth, boom. And then America joined in, and the 100-day offensive. Frederick Banting was involved in this offensive. Go watch my last video to learn more about him. This offensive was crazy. The Allies were pushing in, and Canada, they advanced 9 miles in the first day. That's the most from anybody in that war. Go Canada! Hashtag patriotic Canadian right here. And this is the end of the war. Austria-Hungary concedes. The Ottoman Empire concedes. Bulgaria concedes. Germany concedes. And on the 11th month of the 11th hour, on the 11th day, an armistice was signed in a train car that put an end to all the fighting, all the suffering, all the gas. Millions of men were killed. And they called this the war to end all wars. The Great War. A war like this would never happen. But wait! Hitler came! And he ruined everything. So guys, that was the end of my World War I video. Stay tuned, I'm going to make a Great Depression video and a World War II video. I might also even make a video about the rise of Hitler. Thank you for listening, everybody. Shemi Talks out. Peace.